Dear audience, welcome to Mahbub's Guest, Episode 3. I'm Mahbub Usmani with you again. You know that in this show, I basically interview politicians, business persons, entrepreneurs, social and cultural activists, youth leaders, even philanthropists, and so on. The same way, like today, there will be another person, another guest in my show. And let me introduce my guest today, and I'm very glad to have this guest with me. Let me introduce him. He is none other than Mohammad Ehsan. Mohammad Ehsan, welcome to my show.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come to your program.
Mohammad Ehsan, basically this show, we are living in a global village. You're living in Halifax. I live in Toronto. We have time distance, and even though it's not only in Canada, all over the world, the time distance we have with Canada. But the thing is, actually, my show's plan is basically to convey your message, the Canadians' voice, to the outside world. So that's why it's a very great pleasure to have you in my show. And let me introduce you in a way like why you, Mohammad Ehsan, in my show. Dear audience, Mohammad Ehsan, he is running for city councillor in Halifax District 10, Halifax-Bedford Basin West, from Halifax, Nova Scotia. So that's why he's here. As I told you that I basically interview the politicians. Mohammad Ehsan, give me a second. Let me share this link with my audience in different platforms, so you can also share this link with your audience and with your friends and family members. Just give me a second. So in between, just Mohammad Ehsan, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much again for giving me the opportunity to be District 10 residents and residents in Toronto, talking about different issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. And so my first question is like, why do you like to run for a regional councillor?
Well, there are many reasons, really. I have been involved in the community for a long time now, both in downtown Halifax and now in Fairview and other areas in District 10, and it gives you immense pleasure to be of helpful to people, individuals, businesses, seniors, you just name it. There is the benefits of volunteerism is amazing. That it not only, you are not really helping people, you are helping yourself, because that's what makes you happy. So I ran in municipal elections in the last one too, but that was, just to give you a background, that was sort of, I was late entrant. Just 4 weeks before the elections, I announced that I am going to run, and I have in District 10, I have almost 17,000 plus. At that point, there were 17,000 plus voters, but I couldn't reach out to. I couldn't reach out to even 15% of the people. I mean, it was not. That was a small team. My wife and I was walking around different streets, talking to people, and we were people are so nice. They accepted us and gladly talked with us, gave us time at the door, and it was really an experience. So I knew that I wanted my name to go out at that time, because I was preparing to run for this time, and of course, it's a good experience. I learned a lot from my last campaign, and based on that, I can say that I have a full sort of campaign. Though it has affected, as you know, I mean, everything. As you started your program, I mean, during this COVID, I think this is the new normal, right?
Yeah.
It's going to work like this in many cases. And now distance is not an issue. I mean, election is still 3 months away almost, and in any way I can reach out to people is a good way, good thing, because people have the opportunity to ask me questions. People have the opportunity to connect.
Yeah, definitely. And during this pandemic, which is really tough to knock the door of your voters, and which is it's not healthy as well. So that's why you can deliver your message through online, through virtual platform, which is very good. So my question is, like you said that you ran for as a city councillor 4 years back, and then you come back again after 4 years. So what are the differences you have right now? For before 4 years, Mohammad Ehsan, and after 4 years, Mohammad Ehsan again, the councillor candidate. What are the differences?
Well, I have lived in this particular area for 5+ years now, and before that, I was in the surrounding area. But what gave me, I mean, first of all, in terms of campaigning techniques, I learned a lot on how to approach a political campaign into 2020. That's one thing. But more importantly, it gave me an opportunity to connect with local people, local residents, because it over the last 4 years, I have had the opportunity to be involved, engaged in the community through different programs and initiatives, and I know I more about our community right now, and I know more people in the community, and it gives you an opportunity to it's much more prepared campaign compared to what I did 4 years ago. And again, I mean, 15% reached out to 15% of the people at that time. I mean, um, that was not enough. I mean, I wish I could reach out to all the people. And even though this time I declared my candidacy in March, just before COVID sort of lockdown and all the seriousness that we needed to follow. We needed to follow the public health protocols. So those sort of, I'm happy that we took the right initiative dealing with a pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and now we are at a stage after few months that we can probably get into election mode, slowly get into election mode, slowly back into normalcy, because we're getting back into normalcy, right, Doug? So hopefully, and I'm seeing people right now, and they're not. I mean, they're okay as long as we keep physical distance, we maintain the public health, or we ensure that the public health protocols are followed.
Yeah. All right. So, I need to know your. I mean, you said that about the differences, but you should have currently some sort of manifesto, right, for your election. So, would you like to share your manifesto with our audience and your voters?
Well, our sort of I mean, the difference we have to understand between or among different tiers of government, federal, provincial, and municipal. Municipal government is a grassroots level government, and in a way, it is involved with activities that affect us on a regular basis, right? And you have your direct relationship with the residents in your district.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in terms of the size of the municipality, we know that due to amalgamation in the 1990s, what happened, Canadian municipalities throughout the country really was restructured, and now you have different cities, like in Toronto, different cities, getting together and forming the regional government. So that happened in Halifax too in 1996, and these are much more bigger districts now, and different areas, different districts have different neighborhoods with different kinds of demands or different kinds of necessities. So what is, say for instance, in I live in Fairview, what's needed, what focus in Fairview is much more different than other neighborhoods in the same district.
Yeah.
So it can be different, but my approach, if I have to sort of give you a general sense of what I want to do, I want to make it a participatory sort of. My approach is to empower the citizens. I want people to get involved, different neighborhoods to get involved in decisions that affect their own neighborhoods.
Mhm.
So I've been telling, or I requesting all the residents that you want somebody in the council who, because of its nature, grassroots level, who is always outside, who is always in touch with local residents, and they will, I'm sure they will gladly let you know what needs to be done in their neighborhood, and you take those issues to the council, to the regional council. So irrespective of what sort of plan you have,
Mhm.
it is affected by the people, what people want in that particular area. And your job as a councillor is to make sure that if there are 10 other people in the village council, and councillors, you convince them that they go with you and they support your initiative, and your plans and your programs get passed so that it helps the local residents.
Yeah, definitely. You're all right. So during this pandemic, like we are going through this pandemic since March. So what was your activity? How did you help your community in Halifax, in your district 10? What was your involvement, contribution during this pandemic?
Well, I mean, see, we live in such a beautiful country, and such, I would say that, we have showcased our country in such a way in the world stage that I don't have to make a case that Canada has done pretty well compared to pretty much many countries in the world, and compared to especially our neighboring country. So it's not only me, besides the government at different levels, all three tiers of government, people from all professions everywhere, community people, they got involved in the community, in resolving issues, local issues, helping out people in so many different ways. It's unbelievable. We are very proud Nova Scotians, and we have seen how people got together to help each other during this pandemic too. And just to let you know that the province and the whole country really, but the province, our province in particular, have been through a lot in 2020. So we we are with each other, and we are trying to help each other. And in terms of what I have been involved, I mean, I was lucky to um, get involved in with particular with few initiatives in the community, and in our district we have the Fairview Family Resource Center, which has recently changed its name to Fairview Resource Center. So we have done a lot of work through, and I sit in the board that sort of govern the center. That's one of a kind center in our locality. So we do a lot of service. We provide a lot of services to people who are in need. So we have reached out to people in different ways, and united. What is the NGO called? There were government supports from federal support and provincial support that came through and all the way to the grassroots people. So there were programs we were involved with seniors. There were programs we were involved with people in need. So those are one issues. Those are one aspect of it. In the last 4 months since March, I have also initiated a sort of informal gathering, informal friend programs run by me and a few of my friends called Stronger Together Initiative. So we fundraised, we provided, we raised, we worked for the food bank. We did as much as possible, and we got good responses from residents too. And we tried one other thing, two other. I'll mention two other things at least. We From Stronger Together initiative, we took the initiative to help seniors, particularly during the pandemic, because it was very difficult for them to go out and take the risk and go out, even for running errands. So what we did, we started a sort of a program within Stronger Together initiative to help out seniors in our district. I wish I could do it outside our district too, but there were many people. There were a few Facebook groups that came out, and they were doing similar things too, other than besides few other stuff. But when we received requests from seniors to help them with buying groceries for them, so we did those for quite a few weeks. The need is a bit different now. Now that it's getting into normalcy and people are okay going out once a week, so they're doing it themselves. So for almost 7-8 weeks, we have done that for seniors in the community. And last but not the least, I would like to mention a super initiative that we have here in district Fairview Clayton Park area, basically, but it has expanded over the last 2 months in different areas outside the district too, because of the success of the work that they have done. That's called Square Roots, a program which buys vegetables and produce from the valleys here, which are famous for growing vegetables and apple orchard. There are different things. So we get good vegetables from the valley, and then Square Roots generally have a program to sell low price vegetables. But in the last 15 weeks, we have probably provided 37,000 free vegetable bundles to people in need in our community. So, and I cannot take, I'm not taking credit for the work that they have done. They have done, it's Ivan who leads the program in Fairview Clayton Park, and Alison there who helps Ivan. And from our part, Stronger Together initiative, I tried to raise funds for the program, and I remained involved with them over the last 15-16 weeks, doing different things. Even last weekend, I had the opportunity to go drive to the valley and get vegetables, probably 2,000 or 2,500 pounds of vegetables, driving a truck of a size which I never drove. So it's unbelievable program. I mean, it's unbelievable work or stuff that or initiatives that people are taking throughout the province to help each other. It's unbelievable.
All right. So Mohammad Ehsan, you are an expert on public administration. You studied public administration. You taught, and still, I think you are doing that. So you have that expertise on public administration. So why basically it is important? This local government is important for the public, for the people.
Well, I would rather say that I'm a student of public policy and administration. And yes, I have had the opportunity. I was lucky enough to teach uh, for many years in different countries around the world. And right now, I teach contractually at Acadia and Dalhousie too. And the importance of public policy is immense, really. Look at how countries are dealing with COVID. I mean, it's policy decisions that make all the differences. And the difference between Canada and the United States is, it testifies how policies made by leaders can affect the way to deal with any issues. So, yes, I think that it's important to have people, public representatives, who are familiar, who are sort of familiar with the process of public policy process, starting from setting agendas to implementing public policy. So I think my background in a way dictates that I focus on participation a lot. I want people
Mhm.
to always stay engaged, because it's ultimately, if something is happening in my area,
Yeah,
it's the people who live here whose life is affected by those decisions. So they should be asked to stay engaged um, in those decision making throughout the process. So that's an added advantage that I would take to this regional council if I get elected.
got it. So once you elect, what will be your contribution? I mean, how you will serve your people as a councillor?
I think the best, um, you have to be available all the time. And as I said, I mean, this is grassroots level government.
Mhm.
This is decisions at the municipal level affect our lives on an hourly basis. Everything that the municipal government um, does affect us, and not that others don't, but these are decisions that we send our representatives, and they're supposed to talk to us, and then we can help them make those decisions, which are going to affect them in general, the people of a district. So if I think protecting the interests, it's a fiduciary role. So protecting the interests of the local residents, and making sure that their concerns um, get through the process and on the table where decisions are made, and making sure that those are taken care of, so that people um, people's issues, businesses, individuals, whatever issues they have, those are dealt with. That would be my promise, to be not out of sight, to be always in touch with people, making sure that being proactive, really. I mean, why wait for someone to reach out to you and say, you know what, uh, by the way, this is what has happened last week and nothing is happening, we should need to do it. Rather than, before even people reach out to you, you should know everything happening in your locality so that you can resolve those issues. And that's what I promise. That's what I probably bring to the table.
All right. So, Mr. Hassan, election is always, there money is involved there because you have to spend money for your campaign. So, for your election, do you have any plan for the fundraising, or how basically you'd like to go with that? Do you start your fundraising, or you're thinking about it?
Yes. I have started fundraising, and the way this goes, the moment you declare your candidacy with HRM, or in general with any other municipalities, you are allowed to raise funds So I have started that from last month, and obviously it's a resource intensive process. I mean, right now, councillor candidates are allowed to spend up to $30,000
Mhm.
for their elections, and mayor's budget is even more. So and many friends and many residents have been very kind donating to my campaign already.
Yeah.
So it would be good if I can raise more, because it's as I said, I mean, it's resource intensive process, and the money part, it's good that we are not competing with the practices that we see south of the border, but despite that, you need money to run a campaign.
Hmm. Yeah, and basically it's people's money, especially. So
Oh yeah. Oh, at this level, or any or let's talk about municipal elections. I mean, the candidates can spend some money, limit out of those $30,000. Candidates, if they can spend 15,000 of their own, but they cannot spend more than that. Even if you have money, you cannot spend. So it has to come from individuals under the new bylaws that came out last year. It it sort of dictates that you can only accept donations from individuals. You cannot accept donations from, say, or giving account for what you have raised and where you have spent the money
mhm.
is very important too. So for transparency reason, transparency reason, the new bylaws, I think, would is helping, because under the new regulations, this is
Mhm. Well, I think there is a sound problem in audio. I do apologize for that. For fundraising, I'm just sharing the information that I got from you, Mohammad Ehsan. So the campaign fundraisers for Mohammad Ehsan, a few ways to donate. If you want to donate Mohammad Ehsan, you can do that. It's a check payable to Mohammad Ehsan Campaign District 10, or you can e-transfer through donation at mehsan.ca, or you can bank transfer to Mohammad Ehsan Campaign District 10 through TD Bank to TD Canada Trust. It's for election purpose. We have to. I think the audience, that viewers, that for the election purpose here in Canada, politicians, they need to open a bank account because they have to. It should be transparent, and they need to submit this expenditure to the government. So that's why I think Mohammad Ehsan, this is your campaign bank account, right? It's for your.
Yes, yeah. That's my campaign account for the election alone, and after the election, it's interesting that, and again, under the new regulations, even if you raise more money than you are supposed to spend, that money will go to the municipality. You can take that money in your next campaign, or you can donate that money to a charity of your own choice. So it's a good system in place. And just to add, I mean, there's my website is active too, in case anybody wants to take a look, and they, people can, if want, people can donate through the website too.
Yeah, so that's the donation cash and through campaign site, which is donation.mesan.ca. So if you want to donate, you can go through this process. There are 4 different ways to donate. I think we are almost at the end, but before it's not. The last but not the least, like what you would like to say to your voters, Mr. Ehsan?
Well, reach out to me. My phone number, my with like through emailing, through phone calls. We can. I know that we are in the process of getting into normalcy, and we have to be comfortable getting into the election, getting onto the doors, right?
Yeah.
So already I'm receiving calls and I'm receiving people go and make them, and it's happening. So I would request others to reach out to us, reach out to our campaign, so that we can also you know talk to each other. Because door knocking or reaching out, it will be a bit, because you have people in a different way, not the traditional door knocking. Door knocking is not the only option right now. So I would, at the end, request everybody to reach out to us. If you have any questions, let us know. And one thing I'm going to start very soon is starting a live sort of session on a regular basis, so that in a particular time slot, people can always come and talk over social media or through live as well. So unless you know your candidates, any way I can help make you an informed decision, because there would be candidates, and before you make up your mind, you should. The more you know about the candidates, the better.
Yeah, all right. And to reach you out, here is the phone number 902-717-6458, and the website www.mehsan.ca. Your email address is ehsan@mehsan.ca. So I think your voters, or if anyone wants to ask any question to you, they can reach you out through this way. So thank you, Mohammad Ehsan, for giving your valuable time for our audience, for our CBN audience, Canadian Bangladeshi News CBN audience. And I and my team, my family, and my CBN family especially, we basically wish you good luck for your campaign and for your election. Thank you very much for joining with us. Thank you.
Much for giving me to join.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you again.
Dear audience, thank you so much for joining with me in Mahbub's guest. Next episode will be coming again with another person, another Canadian who are very renowned in our community, who wants to serve the Canadians through a different way in politics, in business, or as a philanthropist, cultural activist, or social activist. Till then, stay with us, stay with CBN. Stay safe. Thank you very much for watching.